Good evening. It is Thursday, I'm guessing. I think it's Thursday. I'm not sure. Um, what's going on? What's happening? How's everybody doing? We're going to get Karine in here shortly. We're going to talk to her. She had a little ski trip, so we're going to hear about her on the bunny slopes and all that kind of stuff. Tuesday night, I had an amazing bearded babble with Akio Evans. I suggest you check that one out if you get a chance. And we're gonna jump in. Yeah, I did a little something different. I just did that get knocked out? That did get knocked out. What happened? I'm sitting in a different place, colors, and I don't know how this lighting is, but we'll figure it out. So let's bring Karine in. Where is she? I don't see her here yet. Well, in the meantime, we'll just keep on talking about. I don't know. I don't know. What should we talk about? Until Karine jumps in here, what do you want to talk about? Who we got on here? Throw something in there. Sup, Beardo? It's actually you. Are you watching the crypto, like the Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff? Is that what you're talking about? The crypto explosion? Because that I'm very confused on all that with the stock market with that. That's I think some people are making money off it. I don't know if the right people are making money off it. I know that can be a crazy thing, the stock market, unless you really know what's going on there. What else is going on in the world? Digital art being sold. Yes, that's a very interesting thing with the digital art. I saw that the other day, that someone can create something, I believe, with a signature. So if someone else sees it or gets a hold of it online, it'll be known that that's not the original, but yet the original has some sort of signature that is coded that you can only know. And I think something the other day, I think, was initially bought for like, correct me if I'm wrong, for like $60,000, and then the person sold it for I think like one point something million dollars. So yeah, that's a bit crazy, that whole thing. And again, it raises the question of, would you pay that much money for something that you don't actually own? That's a very interesting thing you brought up there with that whole crypto thing there. Yeah, that was definitely had me questioning things. Like, I don't understand how that's going to go. What's happening, you?
Hey, Andy.
How are you?
I'm doing good. A little bruised up, but I'm good.
Now, are you going to be skiing in the Olympics anytime soon, or
Maybe if the challenge was to fall down the hill as far down as you can go, or you know what I did do really well though? I got really good at getting up from falling, because that's actually much more challenging than you'd expect. To, like, when you fall, you try to get up from skis and your feet are like this, they're like this, and you're like, my legs don't bend this way. But I've gotten really good at getting up from falling. I'm almost an expert at it, actually. Like, you should see me go. As long as I'm not, bruised up. But you want to see my bruises?
we
There's
got
some.
injuries here? Who else has injuries on their babble? And we got injuries. Come on, we do it all here.
Yeah, but you're the soul healer. That's why.
So how do you feel you did? Did you feel that you're better with your skiing, or?
Have you skied before?
I've never skied. No.
Okay. So here's the thing that I learned so I did it for 3 days. And here's the one thing that I learned about skiing that I didn't realize at the beginning and that I was practicing towards the end. So when you're skiing, you have to lean into the hill. So this is the slope, right? Normally, I'm going to stand up. I'm wearing a Donnell shirt. So like, normally if you're like walking down a slopey hill, you're going to lean backwards, right? You're going to walk like this. Not like exactly like this, but you know what I mean. You're going to lean backwards. With skiing, you want to lean forward as if you're going to tumble yourself down the hill. And that is really hard to do at speed. So I think that's like the biggest thing that you have to kind of overcome, is like you have to get used to leaning into the hill and knowing you're not going to eat shit.
How cold was it though?
It wasn't that bad, actually. It was like in the 30s.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. We also snowshoed in 2 feet of snow, which I know you know a lot about snowing, shoeing, right? Have you snowshoed?
No, but I know about it though. I've never done it, but it is something that I would probably rather do that than actually skiing but do the snowshoes really like work to your advantage? Because it looks like it almost carries the weight, but yet it doesn't though. It flattens and then you're able to keep stepping, right?
Yo, it's crazy. Like if you walk without snowshoes and you go
Yeah.
down, right? Your foot just inside and all that stuff. But like with the snowshoes, I mean, you could also use tennis rackets, but like, whatever. They actually keep you like above ground. You're like compressing snow as you're walking, but it's really cool. So we walked through this like we did a snowshoe hiking thing, and I don't know. I feel like I'm in shape, which just doesn't make any sense. Like you work out too, so you understand. It's like I work out all the time, but like maybe I need to like work on my endurance or something because I like had to give up at some points. I was like, I can't go anymore. And there was one point where I thought I was gonna die. I was like, we're gonna die out here because the sun was going down, and it becomes like 4 degrees when it's like the sun goes down. As soon as it goes down, it gets freezing. And there was like no other footprints, so like you're in this like huge field of white snow with no other footprints. You're like, I'm gonna die.
Oh,
So, but we didn't.
oh.
We didn't die.
Yeah, that definitely looks like a lot of fun. Okay, Thor is. I don't know what's going on with Thor tonight. He's very, very neat. Do you want to be on tonight? Do you want to talk too? You can talk too. Like constantly, just like tap, like, hey, I need attention over here. All right, relax, relax.
I've never heard Thor say anything.
No, he's very quiet. Very, unless there's a squirrel outside, then he's barking like he's ready to kill. But otherwise, he's pretty quiet.
Yeah, snowshoeing is awesome.
Yeah, that definitely looks like something I would like to try. Well, anything like walking like that. Again, I don't like the snow only because I'm so used to city snow, and city snow is just dark
Ew.
and ugly, and I'm
Oh
tired.
my God.
See snow again that was beautiful outdoors, a field, a forest, or whatever. Then I would enjoy snow again. But city snow is,
Yes,
tired.
this is definitely not city snow. When we were walking, like we walked by like this river and there were like swans in it. It was just so beautiful. And I was like looking at the snow and it was just shimmering. It was twinkling, with all this like little glitter. And it was remarkable. And it made me think about, I don't know, Philly's a pretty dirty city, but like when it snows in Philly, it's nice for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, like, where is all this dirt coming from? It is just gross, gross snow. So it was a little bit magical. The only thing I'm upset about is I didn't see any moose.
Did you see any wild out there, or?
Yeah, we like had a fox, like a big red fox, come up to us, and I was like, I wanted to give him some bologna. My boyfriend said no. He said you're not supposed to feed the foxes bologna. But you got to carry bologna in your bag. I was actually like, when I put the bologna in my bag, I was wondering if like, what are the chances that like an animal would smell the bologna and then attack me?
So you got to be careful. Yeah, exactly. You don't think of these things. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good for food. So,
Dude, did you know that moose, they go underwater for up to a minute or a minute and a half, and they eat the aquatic plants underwater?
I gotta see that. That's gotta be beautiful on video. Like
I've never seen it.
Wow, that's so many animals though. Like when you see, like, have you ever seen like elephants swim? I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, that's like an amazing thing. Like this huge animal underwater, just like so graceful. So I'd imagine the moose is pretty cool too.
If they had mini elephants, I would totally get one as a pet.
You know what? That's not a bad idea to look into possibly breeding them, because I'm sure everyone would want a mini elephant.
Dude, they make those people make mini everythings now. Man, there's so many like cute non-domestic animals that I would love to have as like a hangout buddy.
What?
So do you know what a tarsier is?
Tarsier, no.
Oh, I'll show you. They are so cute. So they're already mini, which is nice. So that kind of works in our favor. Hold on, I'm going to show you what a tarsier is. But they are very paranoid and total psychopaths, And the reason that they can't be domesticated is because they're super paranoid. But here, I'll show you. This is what a tarsier looks like. Look at that thing.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, they're like the cute. I've seen those. Yes. Oh.
They're like a mix between an owl and a rat, a little mouse bird. Look at this guy. This is the tarsier of my dreams.
They look like they would be nervous though.
Yeah, they're totally. Look at
Yeah.
that. He looks like a paranoid little monkey thing. Oh, they're so cute.
Do you know what though?
Tarsiers.
That would be an amazing deterrent for burglars. Because could you imagine walking, like breaking into someone's house and just seeing those eyes, like often like in the distance? You'd be like you would have no idea what.
Oh,
You would be right back out of that
that's
house.
a great idea. You could get like 10 of them. You get a whole tree of tarsiers at your front door.
When you don't know what something is, we had years ago, the last house that we lived in before we moved here, our house, one day Jenny was doing laundry in the basement. And I mean, we had sliding doors in the back and a deck on the back and everything like that. And we used to leave it open, you know, for nice weather. We would do the screen, but, you know, sometimes it would stay open. So she screams one day. She screams. She says, I think there's a squirrel in the basement. I was doing laundry down there, blah, blah, blah. So I go down there and I think like I took like a laundry basket or something like that. And I figured, okay, if it's there, I'll get it under the laundry basket and I'll slide something like a piece of wood underneath it and I'll just take it outside. You know, no big deal. I mean, it's a squirrel. I've had squirrels in the house before. I go downstairs and I hear this ruckus behind the washer or the dryer. And then all of a sudden, like that, I see something go from behind the dryer, right? It was like an unfinished basement. So it goes right up into the slabs in the ceiling. It goes right up into like the cross members.
Oh,
and I was like,
a bat.
no. I was just like, the coloring of it was like, it was almost like my beard, but a little bit lighter. But I could tell it wasn't a squirrel because it was beautiful and it was big. And then all of a sudden I saw these black eyes look out at me, these huge black eyes. When I tell you I screamed, I ran upstairs, I closed the door. I probably put on, at the time I used to play hockey, I used to be a goalie. So I put on half my goalie, my street goalie equipment, helmet and all, went downstairs with like everything. And I forget, I saw it like run, I saw it jump a couple of times. I still had no idea what, I don't know if it was alien. I had no idea what it was because, like I said, it just was weird. Bouncing around. I finally throw, I think, one of the laundry baskets, again, on top of it. I get a piece of wood. I slide it underneath. I could feel it like, you know, like fighting, like underneath there. And I'm like, oh my God.
What was it?
I yell upstairs. I tell Jenny, open up the back door. She opens up the sliding door on the deck. I run out. I put it down. I whip the cover off of it. And like, I jump back, like ready to like hit it. I think I had like a stick in my hand. Because again, I had no idea what it was. It was a chinchilla. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then it scurried. Had to be someone in the neighborhood again. Had I known what it was, I wouldn't have done that. But all I saw were the eyes. And then I saw this fast movement everywhere. And it was scaring the heck out of me because I had no idea what, again, I never saw a chinchilla up close before. But, you know, that was like, that fur was beautiful on it. But the eyes were scary. The eyes, when I saw those eyes, scared the heck out of me. Chinchilla.
Oh my God. I love them. They're so soft and they're so sweet.
They are.
Oh man, what else would be good? You know what would be cool as a mini pet? A giraffe.
I watch a lot of, like, you know, Animal Planet and nature and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever seen giraffes fight?
No, are they just like hitting each other with their necks?
It's the wildest thing you've ever seen. I think I just saw that like a year or two ago. I always thought they were like these beautiful creatures, and they are. But when they fight, it's like, that's like hippopotamuses. Do you know what the most deadly animal on the planet is? A hippopotamus. It's ridiculous. They kill more people and animals, and they drown you. They'll get a hold of you with those big mouths of theirs with those couple of teeth. They'll drag you to the water, hold you underwater.
They have like 4 teeth.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a hippopotamus. I mean, everywhere you go, Disney, cartoons, hippopotamuses are always cute and loving. They're the most brutal animals on the planet.
That's really interesting and pretty terrifying. You know, because they have like four teeth and like no horns. You'd be like, this thing is not supposed to be dangerous. A
Exactly.
giraffe at least has those like little like horn guys,
Yeah.
you know? They don't use that horn guy, do they? Do they butt each other?
It's all neck. It's like all neck. It's just they just slam into each other full
What
force.
a
Like,
weird creature.
yeah.
There's a show on Netflix now. I forget what it's called, but it's about like it's kind of like sci-fi-ish, and it's made to be almost like a documentary of animal life in our alternate universe.
Okay.
So they make it very realistic where they like tell you about these animals that don't actually exist. But it's like a bunch of scientists that are saying like, well, these are the kind of animals that would exist and this is what they would be doing. And there's these like hunters that are like parachuting from the sky and like, all these like, but it's science fiction, but it's just as weird as like our reality. Our reality is weird, man.
Yeah, no, our reality is very weird. And again, too, I guess, like I said, alternate universe, different planet, whatever. Just, with time, the way everything grows. I mean, just look at us. I mean, again, yeah,
We're
everybody,
weird.
what we came from. Did we come from cavemen? Did we come from tadpoles? Did we, who knows? But whatever you grow and you adapt to your environment. And that's the amazing thing about nature shows, too. The way animals, not even just animals, there's a very interesting one on the Nature Planet 2 about plants and about plants, how like smart they are to survive. How like you'll see like I think like in the Amazon rainforest too, like you'll see things at the top of trees that is basically the root of a plant that's down on the all the way down on the floor on the Amazon floor. You'll have a plant that's down there, but its root will climb up to the tippy top of a tree just to get the sunlight that it needs to live, a couple of 100 feet down below. It's crazy.
Dude, have you heard of the cordyceps mushroom and what it does with mind control for animals?
No.
Yo, this is mind blowing. Okay, so this mushroom, it's called the cordyceps mushroom. You got to watch, like, just go on YouTube after this and watch it because you need to see this terrifying thing. Cordyceps.
Cordyceps.
Yeah, I think it's the cordyceps mushroom. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, if its pores like get near like an ant farm or something, the ants that breathe it in, and I'm pretty sure all this is accurate. Some of it might be a little off of like how they absorb the mushroom or whatever, but it takes over the ant's mind and it makes it climb up to the top of this tree and then it dies and then mushrooms grow out of its body and then throw pollen over all the other fellow ants. But it's got mind control. Like it literally takes over the ants' mind and walks them up a tree for them to die.
Nature is a unbelievably beautiful and amazing thing, and we're still just learning about it. I mean, that's incredible. That again, how smart just plants are. You don't even think of that.
It's weird that there are plants that eat bugs. And that are like so responsive, like the ones that you touch and they go, blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so cool.
It kind of goes back to, I guess, like, I love the movie Avatar. I mean, the earth is a living thing. We're just not connected with it enough. I think if we connected with it a little bit more, I think everything would be a much better flow. But again, we're connected with this, which I'm not complaining. I'm not telling anybody to log off, but this is what we're connected with social media. We're connected with electronics. We're connected with.
What's interesting is that I was just thinking about this recently. So like climate change, like part of the issue is that we don't have enough trees. Like, what if we just had more trees? What if we could just make the whole earth into one big tree, a lot of big trees?
And I don't like today they were here in front of the house. They come once a year and they always trim the trees, usually in the springtime or sometimes in the fall time to prepare for winter because we have a lot of trees with the power lines. I get that, but I was down, it's about a mile from where I am now, where I grew up, the house that I grew up in. And I went down my street, like I said, I haven't been out much in the past year, but the last time that I went down the street, I grew up, and off the top of my head, I would say there was close to 18 trees on my street, between both sides, maybe 10 on one side, 8 on the other side. I drove down the other day. There was not one tree on that block. Not one tree on the block that I grew up on.
No way.
Why? Like beautiful oak tree. I understand you have storms, so every now and then you lose a tree or for whatever reason. So, but every tree on my block was like gone. I was like, it was so like sunny and open, and it was nice. But I loved the tree. You went down my street in the summertime, and it was no snow. I mean, no snow, no sun. It was just tree lined all the way down, and now it's open. It's all sun.
Well, here's something, okay? There is, I don't know how new this is, but I just heard about this. There is a search engine now, like not replacing Google. It's not Google. But for every search, I think for every search, they plant a tree.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Ecosia. E-C-O, I don't know, Ecosia. Ecosia.org. Yeah, make your new search, make Ecosia your new search engine and plant trees with your searches for free.
Ecosia. So if you go to ecosia.com and use that every time you search for something, wow, that's cool.
I don't know if it's every time, but I know that they consistently plant trees when people are using their searches. Oh, wow. The number of searches, they actually calculate the number of searches that you have done on Ecosia so you can keep track of how many trees that you've been planted based on your searches. I'm going to make this my new
definitely.
Wow. A homepage. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know how good it is, a search engine, but I'd use it.
Again, technology is bad, but then again, technology can be good if it's going to be used in something like that. That's the way to do it. Tie the two together. Make it work.
Yeah. Not to get us off too off topic, because I know we have a guest person coming on, a mystery stranger danger, but the technology, good and bad technology. I was thinking about coronavirus the other day, and how it's bad, right? It's bad. Actually, there was a guy, I know that I have a friend who's listening right now who's probably going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know this. But a friend, somebody from my old job at Neo actually just died of COVID. It's a bad thing. It's pretty serious, but it's also it's not as bad as it could be, right? Most people who are getting it aren't dying from it. It's not a 50% death rate, because it could be much, much worse, right? But the scary part is that humans, we can make, diseases now, viral viruses, and that's scary. So it's there's technology where we have the ability to heal a lot of things very quickly, and in the course of a year we can have all these various vaccines that are being made to prevent people from getting hurt. But on the other hand too is that people can use it as bad, and I don't know, just it's getting crazy out there.
It's definitely strange times, and it's only going to get more interesting.
Yeah, that's true. It is going to get interesting. So I guess we should just bring on the stranger danger person.
All righty.
I'm not going to be able to hang out. I'm going to listen to it, but I don't think I'll be able to hang out until the end, especially if you guys go till late, because I'm hosting a webinar for developers. If you're interested in learning how Uber builds their data pipeline, you can watch it.
There you go. That'll be.
You're whatever.
That'll be on IG Live at what time? 9 o'clock.
It's not going to be on live. It's going to be. It's like a digital webinar. But honestly, Andy, if you go, you're going to be like, I don't know why I came to this. I mean, it's really cool, but I also follow. This is my space. I follow it, but. It's basically how Uber manages their data for the most part. That's kind of what it is. It's very, very technical stuff. But it should be.
That's a lot of data, so it's got to be cool.
It's interesting for people who manage a lot of data, but if you're not an engineer, you're going to be I don't understand. Whatever. Okay, so our person is Cloak, CLOAK.
Okay.
Of Carrot.
All righty. Now, I'll check and see if you're on when we're done. If you want to come back in. If you're not, then you have a
okay. Yeah, at 10 of is when I have to run. but I'll be
Okay.
watching until then.
Okay. And then I'll talk to you either tonight or tomorrow sometime, and then we'll figure out
We
the next.
basically talk every day, with
Yeah,
exception of at least like one message or something.
there's always something.
Um, yeah. There's so many things I like wanted to make comments about. I was watching the video of you like throwing the pillow around with your son, and your wife is in the background cracking up. You're like, "Oh, laughter's so great," and she is cracking up. I was like, "This is really funny," because she is laughing harder than anyone else in that entire video.
That's what we do here. You gotta keep laughing. That's all it is.
I'm gonna start writing things down. Then I'll be like, I have to talk to Andy about this thing,
Absolutely.
because I also want to talk about your motivational quotes. I like them.
Yeah. Again, I'm lucky to have just found a lot of good motivational people. And again, it's just not everything clicks. Some of them are hallmarkish. Some of them are. But every now and then, if it resonates with me, then I throw it back up out there just to say, hey, this changed something in my mindset. I don't know. Will it change something? It's not for everybody, but it's.
I mean, that's one of the things that I told you about, the like, you have to laugh at everything thing. That something that really resonated with me, and that I think probably was one of the things that stuck to me from you very, very early on.
Well,
You could be a quotable meme for me.
That like I said, that goes back to the connection. The very first time that I met with Donnell and the connection, and like I said, everything comes off of Donnell. Him and 40 were here the other day. It was absolutely amazing.
Oh, I saw that picture. That was nice.
The energy and the love was absolutely amazing. But again, it goes back to the very first time that he came to this house, and the very first time that we spoke. One of the conversations we had was laugh at life, death, and everything in between. And at that moment, as I was saying it, he said it along with me, and that was it. That was the spark right then and there. It was the connection of not just the comedy aspect of laughing at everything. It's the life aspect of laughing at everything. Yes, laugh at everything in comedy. Yes, you can turn almost anything into a joke. But life, when you learn to laugh at life and the things that pain you and the things that trouble you, when you learn to laugh at those, you can make life that much easier. And sometimes that's all you need to get through a day. I mean, like I said, we still have rough days, but then we have something like that laughter there, and you kind of forget the bad.
It's so nice. Actually, you'd appreciate this. So I was on the plane you'd appreciate this. I was on the plane from Wyoming like yesterday, and it was like late, whatever. But I had this huge water bottle, and when I was like exiting my row, I stepped on it by accident, and water went everywhere on all the people on the plane, and people were really pissed, and I almost pissed my pants. It was so funny. I can't believe people took it so seriously, though. I was like, it's just water. Shut up.
Yeah. Everybody's.
But I wish they were able to laugh.
Everybody's late and worried, and what is that? What it's like, but again, just laugh at it. Oh.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'll let you get to your stranger danger, and I will probably talk to you later.
Cool. Peace, love, laughter. And my hair is looking absolutely wonderful. Thank you. You can't. The lighting isn't that great in here right now, but my hair
You're
is
using the Israeli hair product.
Yes, I am. It's absolutely doing wonders for my hair. Thank you for that
Really?
too. Yes.
I'm so glad. It smells good too, right?
Yes, it really does smell good.
Oh, I love it. If you ever like really want it to like really smell good, you got to like put your hair back one day, like put it in, wet. Put your hair back, put it in like a bun or something, and the next day take it out. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, your hair smells so good. You should do it for the next show that you go to.
See, we have it all. We show injuries. We talk about hippos, and we teach about hair. We can make your hair look better on this show. What more could you? We do it all.
Definitely. Come here and get smarter about moose.
I will talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All righty. There we go. Cloak of carrots. Good evening, Cloak of Carrots. How are you?
I am well, thanks. How are you?
How's everything? Now, I always like to find out about the screen name because it's always interesting. Now, Cloak. I'll get back to cloak. Is there anything to do with carrots?
Well, it's actually more to do with an incident with a drummer.
Okay, this is going to be a good one. Go ahead, because now I'm lost.
Yeah, so we had this band a number of years ago when I lived in a place called Beaton. So I currently live in Calgary, Canada, which is not near Beaton. Beaton's kind of closer to where I believe you are. Um, and I don't know, you probably know a lot of drummers, I would imagine. Yeah, they're all a little, out there. So this fellow was, we called him Vandy, and we were living in this little house that was kind of on a farm, which was pretty cool. And the farm was out in the middle of nowhere, so we used to have these just crazy jam sessions that sometimes would, go on for long periods of time. And sometimes there'd be, things people would get into various different performance enhancing substances, as it were. So anyway, we had one rule. The farmer had one rule for us, and he said, whatever you do not go into the bean field. So we're like, okay, no problem. So of course, things happen, stuff goes on, and the drummer vanishes, and we're like, oh, where'd the drummer go? And my brother goes, oh, he's out in the bean field. I'm like, oh man, okay. So we go out in the bean field and we're trying to find him. And then he jumps up with this sleeping bag on. It was this big orange sleeping bag, and we're like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, you can't see me, man. You can't see me. I'm in my cloak of carrot. Um,
That is absolute. That's a wonderful story, and that's a wonderful name too. He was. I'm going to take a guess, and I'm going to guess possibly mushrooms, or
bingo. Yeah. Yeah, there was a few interesting. We had a few interesting episodes with him. He was a lot of fun. He actually when we did our CD release party for the first CD that we put out, we were in the bar, and same sort of shenanigans going on or whatever, and we're standing there. He's like, I bet you guys $20 that I can take my pants off and nobody will notice. And of course he did, and of course nobody did, so we had to pay him the $20. And then he started, then he was getting kind of bold with this whole thing. So he decided to go down lie down in the middle of the road with the same sort of thing going on. But unfortunately, there was a police officer who did notice. And yeah, he ended up in jail for the night.
everybody has to have at least one of those friends.
Yes.
You have to have. There's always that one that it's just okay. That's him. It's just that's so and so. It's yeah. They create the best stories, some of the best memories, and even the best screen names. Cloak.
Oh,
that is wonderful. Was there any? How much further did that go? Were you able to get him out of the bean field, or like?
Oh, it was quite an adventure getting him out of there because then it became a whole thing. I'm pretty sure I can't remember what time we got him out of the bean field. We eventually did get back to playing again, I think later that evening, and I'm pretty sure I got a recording of it somewhere. But yeah.
Now, what do you play? What type of music?
Oh, sorry?
What type of music?
Oh, that particular band, there's been a few of them over the years. That one was an alt rock kind of an indie project. So we had a number of songs, and most of them actually were. We actually did a live gig with myself and my daughter. Have more recently started playing, and we did a gig a week or so ago actually that was live streamed, which was like these. It's actually been kind of interesting. The pros and cons of COVID weirdness, and being able to do this kind of thing has been really cool. So I've met lots of really interesting people that I probably wouldn't have been able to meet otherwise, such as yourself. And this was a kind of a similar thing where a local musician decided that he wanted to, he was missing playing live. So he started up this Friday night hootenanny thing, which has been running 7 o'clock every Friday night. And now they've got they're having a whole pile of musicians coming on this thing, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, so we played a couple of songs on that. One of them was a song called Take You to Tomorrow, which actually was written, I wrote it about a friend of mine who, Jesus, I'm starting to see there's a pattern here. It's a story about an old friend of mine he was a brilliant guy. So I work in the technology sector, which is how I met Corinne, of course. But this person, brilliant person, but just very crazy. And he just got gradually more and more crazy until I was working up in a mining operation up in Northern Ontario, and I get this phone call from this guy, and he just starts rambling on this weird sort of story about how he was going to call down the eagle from the sky, and this eagle was going to strike down all of his enemies and all this stuff, and he was talking about how he was, getting rid of all the bad people with a machete or something. Anyway, it was all very disturbing. So, and I sort of like, geez, that was weird, and that was the last I ever heard from him. So, and it turns out what had happened is he'd had some kind of he was on some something, and had some sort of mental breakdown, and went into a bar with a machete, and kind of went off, and of course got arrested, and that was his last phone call apparently. Wow. And that was the last I'd ever heard from him. So I wrote a song about it. Yeah, it was kind of a sad story, because he was just an amazingly talented person, but just sort of for whatever reason went off the deep end.
Would you be able to play some of your music for us?
Right now?
Not to put. I mean, if it's too much, then no. But I mean, it's.
I don't know. I'd have to. I'm not sure how I'd do that with this setup. I suppose.
Plug in some amps.
Can you plug in an amp?
Is he asking us to play it?
Yeah. Okay. My daughter's going to see what she can do here. So.
That's the fun of this. We just go with what. I mean, if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. It's just you never know what's going to happen here, and that's the fun of it. It's just the liveliness, and just go with whatever's going on. It's
cool. Yeah, we'll give it a go here. I'll see what she's. Just give me a call when you get the bass set up. Sorry, I'm yelling up the stairs, and you could probably hear. Well, everybody's probably like, yeah, don't yell.
Yell all you want. Again, that's the fun of it. I'd love to hear the music. And yeah, I think you may want to check your friends list and maybe check the mental status of all of them, see how everybody's doing.
Yeah. You guys, okay, actually there's a couple of things that I wrote down because there was some interesting stuff going on. So just as we're waiting, you mentioned hippopotami. So interesting story here in Calgary in 2013, there was a big flood. And of course, what ended up happening is the hippopotamus that they have in his little kind of floaty cage, that got flooded, and it floated him right out of the cage, and off he went.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Did that become like a pet? I mean, it's probably, did they put out like a I guess like a news thing, like lock indoors, don't approach the hippopotamus if you see it?
There was definitely some interesting, there was a couple of memes I think that came out of it even back then, and then there were certainly some other, I can't remember how did they get him back into the cage? Do you remember? This is Tori, by the way.
Hi.
How you doing?
Tori.
Hi, Tori.
Oh, you probably can't hear because I've got my headphones on. Here, let me just get rid of the headphones and see if this still works. Sorry, we're going to go off script here.
That's the fun of this.
Okay, can you still hear us? All right, that's good news.
Put that thing somewhere.
Well, maybe we can stick it over here. I don't know, that may make noise with the computer. All right, this is very random. Okay, how's that? Okay, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Maybe we got to get Wendy in here.
What are we?
I think they're going to try, should we try Take You to Tomorrow?
Okay.
Since that was what was asked about. If I can remember the lyrics. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know
I do. I don't know the lyrics, but I'm like a big band person. I do bass, trumpet, piano, and guitar, I think.
Just a few instruments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a few. Did I say trumpet?
I think you said trumpet.
I said, yeah. Yeah.
So you're your own band then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Well,
I just sort of hang out and try and make it look like I'm useful.
He plays guitar too, and he was in a lot more bands, like rock band type things than I was, but yeah.
Are you self-taught, or are you studied everything, all the instruments, or?
With trumpet, it was a mix of being self-taught and also learning in school. Piano, I started when I was 5. Guitar, self-taught. Bass, self-taught.
Although, interesting other random story here. A year, or well, before COVID became a thing, we went to go see Dweezil Zappa's band, which just wonderful, wonderful to see that, and got to meet Mr. Zappa and his bass player, Kurt Morgan, and then sort of through a series of very unusual and strange COVID-related coincidences, got connected to them. So Tori was trying to learn how to play Camarillo Brillo. Couldn't find sheet music for it. So, and I had been signed up on Mr. Zappa's website thing.
Well, I DM'd Kurt off of Instagram, and I was like, "Hey man, how do you do this?" And then he told me.
So yeah, then he basically we got connected in with him, and he offered to teach Tori how to play bass. So we've been doing lessons with him for the last, or she has, I haven't. We, yeah, she's been learning all kinds of cool stuff. So just really, really nice people, and it's great to. He's actually a composer by actual training, so which has been really neat to see. Sort of the way he's like the way he instructs and whatnot. It's kind of cool.
Wow, it's absolutely amazing and a talent. Like you talked about drummers being weird. I was a drummer when I was a teenager.
Oh, right on.
Metal and a lot of punk. Then I got into guitar for a while, and I ended up cutting off the end of my finger in a mic accident. Ooh. And now I play. I don't play it enough, but I have an electric jazz. And every now and then, I just like to just pick it up, just a little bit of Old Police or something like that. But the bass has become my favorite instrument.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I like it because it's loud.
Yes.
As do I.
That and trumpet.
I'm just going to go run and get a little stand for the phone here and possibly a guitar, and I will be right back. You can chat with Tori because she will tell you stories.
Cool.
Hi.
All right, let's hear some bad stories then.
Pardon?
Let's hear some stories.
Stories? Okay.
While he's gone, before he comes.
Okay, so this one time when I was at band camp, we were playing this like I know that's all the majority of my stories. We were playing this. It was a jazz band camp, and it was a summer camp. That's so you can tell I'm a nerd. But we were playing this tag game where we had to close our eyes and walk around and say, I think it was Pee-wee or something, and we had to find our mom. And since I was the newbie, there was this kid that had some cake, and he shoved it in my face when I was walking around saying "pwee-pwee" to random people with my eyes closed.
So band camp is a lot rougher than people imagine it could be, huh?
Oh yeah, no, it's so difficult. We get pie in our face. We have to play for 7 hours a day. The other day I had to play the same note over and over, the same like long note over and over again for the full 30 minutes of band class, because you can only play for 30 minutes now, which is very annoying, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now is that about the continue with music?
I want to be a psychologist, philosophy person, ethic person, and musician.
But it's, all of that goes together beautifully.
Yeah.
Music, a lot of people don't realize how important music is for your soul.
Oh, it is, yeah. Yeah, it's very, very important.
All right.
Dad got his guitar. I have my bass.
Yeah.
See if I can.
We got a live concert here tonight. Who knew? Who knew?
Is this thing tuned?
Yes, I'm good.
Close enough. It's not like this is a.
No, it's not like it's the hootenanny.
Okay.
Right.
Get this thing positioned well enough, or
Can you guys kind of hear the
noise?
Yes. No, it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good.
Ooh, okay.
There. Slide this way a bit. There we go. We'll just
Okay.
be sort of half heads.
Awesome. Okay. 1, 2.
Diving into the melee with my head held high, I decide to see if I can find out which way to go. that's not important now. The only thing left is lying in the snow. So I hold the knife high and I say, I'm going to take you to tomorrow. A joke that no one knows. And with that, I start to chop. I start by chopping tables, chairs, beer mugs. I graduate to shrubbery, plants, trees, leafy objects, each one a face that I know. They were taking up too much oxygen. Well, you know, at that point, the cops got me. Where they threw me in the slammer, where I racked the beds. I tried to trash the bars, but they were made of steel. I'm going to take you to tomorrow. Now I'm left here to write Cree poetry. It's the only thing that keeps me alive. I'm going to take you to tomorrow. Oh, there you go. Hopefully you're able to hear some of that.
That was awesome. Thank you Thank you for just impromptuing. I asked, and you guys got everything together in a matter of minutes and jumped on. And first off, absolutely amazing. It's great to know the backstory too. To know that's a cool story. But just to watch the two of you, I think that's an amazing thing. Just the chemistry, the bond. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, absolutely. And the bass line, I was sitting here the whole time. I was getting funky with it. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, no, that bass line is pretty fun. It's really fun to play that song.
Yeah, it's kind of nice because I'm not really, you know, I'm an okay kind of rhythm player. But one of the really fun things that we've been doing is because she's been, doing all this crazy slap bass stuff, a la Primus. I just basically, step back and let her kind of just go nuts on the bass, and it just really kind of sends it.
Absolutely amazing. Oh, that was again. That's a treat. Unexpected. Talk a little. You get some music. You get no. So now you guys are performing together at a local place.
Yeah. Well, we did that online hootenanny thing, and that was my first time ever doing a gig like that. Like I've done concert band things and jazz band things, but that was my first time ever doing something like that. And yeah, we will sometimes just kind of jam and stuff and kind of make some new songs. Our most recent one, I'm not sure if it's published yet, but it's about Les Claypool buying an excavator and kind of excavating his way through 2020. Because I heard we went to a virtual concert and he said that he bought an excavator because of how bored he was. So then I was like, Les and his excavator. That would be a great song. And then so we started writing.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll put it up probably I think we got it done. We're just going to get Mr. Morgan to cross-check it for us and give us a couple pointers if he's got any thoughts on it, and then we'll throw it up on the internet somewhere.
Awesome. Please let me know when that goes up. I will definitely help you spread that around because that's
Thank you so much.
That's definitely going to be fun. That's cool. And again, like I said, I picked up the jazz bass a couple of years ago.
Oh, no way.
I picked it up again. You got me. It's sitting over in the corner over there. I got
what kind of bass?
Get back on it again.
Like jazz Fender?
What's that?
Like a Fender?
Is it Fender?
No, it's a no-name, jazz electric bass.
Nice.
But I actually just restringed it probably about I think the beginning of the year. I think I finally ordered some. I knew they were shot. Restringed. Now I just got to get back on it.
Awesome. You definitely should. It's one of the best instruments. As I always say, bass is best. A lot of guitar players hate me for that right now, but it's just the truth.
I think it's great because then I don't have to play as hard. Which kind of, it's nice because then I don't have to, I just have to know my 3 chords and off I go.
Oh,
Yeah.
so much talent, so much love. So. Have you guys always played together? Is that something?
I think we wrote our first song. Well, I wrote lyrics to this one song called Robot Monster in about 2nd grade. And then that's, I think, kind of when it started. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a good vibe. So I got a friend in town who's like a music producer guy. And so he, Steve Dodd, really nice guy. So he brought us, I asked him, said, hey, my daughter seems to be interested in this stuff. Can we check out? He's got a studio. He does a lot of music production for TV shows and stuff. So he gave us a little tour and got us hooked up and, ran her through some recording junk and then made a little song of it for us, which was kind of cool. So it was really nice of him to do that.
Absolutely. So what else have you guys got going? Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Well, one of the things that's been hard this year, it's interesting. Obviously, you're into the stand-up comedies kind of a thing. I've one of the things I did a few years ago, well, a long time ago, we're both into improv.
Oh my gosh.
And the reason I started doing that is because my wife would tell you stories about this too, speaking of stories, but I have this weird sort of, what do you call it? Like blindness for people's social cue thing. So I can't read like body language or anything like that, or I have trouble with it. And this would get me in trouble in meetings and stuff because I would have no idea that, hey, either somebody's, verbally or physically telling me to stop talking, or they'd be, whatever. And Wendy literally had to, I think we were in a bar once and she liked me, but I had no clue. So she kind of jumped on my back and I piggybacked her somewhere, but I still didn't clue into the fact that she liked me, like at all.
I have a story piggybacking off. Oh,
piggybacking off that story.
Off of that, she told me that Dad was like, "Hey, do you want to go? I think it was tubing or canoeing or something back when they were just starting to date." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going on a date!" Like she was so excited. And then this dummy just took her canoeing with his family.
Oh yeah.
Because he thought he was just like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna hang out."
Canoe, man. I don't know. I don't know these things. So yeah, so I started these improv lessons with a bunch of folks here called the Kinkanauts, and they were just awesome. So, and unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that for the last year just because it isn't the same. I don't know if stand-up comedy, if it's the same when you're not kind of right in front of a crowd or able to interact, but boy, the improv thing, we tried some virtual stuff, and I think some of the folks are still doing it, but it didn't work very well for me anyway in that format. So I haven't done it for about a year now. But yeah, it was amazing because all the games and everything that you do in that, and it's just such a different way of thinking compared to what I normally do. And I just learned a tremendous amount about it in terms of, oh, well, people have different ways of communicating other than words. Wow.
That was something that I was looking forward to. Actually, I was starting to look around for improv or something myself last year, because that's something that absolutely, when you say improv, and I'm just like, that's really what I want to do. It's like,
yeah,
it's just so great.
It's so much fun. Today, during my spare, I was walking with one of my friends, and then I told her that I was doing improv, and she started giving me a bunch of characters to try to do. And I did a valley girl, I did a pageant princess that was mad at her dad, and I did a British woman breaking up with her boyfriend, and it was very funny. It was, I really miss it. But having friends like that are like, do this, and then you just kind of,
a couple episodes ago, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, Corinne, one of these, it was the StRaNgEr DaNgEr. She had a friend come on, and they were in character. We were probably on 30, 40 minutes. She never broke character, and I was so thrown by it, because that's not what when I came on. And when I realized within the first couple of minutes that, okay, she's in character and she is staying. It was so much fun to do. Like I said, I was lost for like a second. to me, it was a challenge. It was like, okay, she's going to do this. I got to keep this going. How do we? And it was so much fun. Just pull in, you know, the whole. Oh.
That's awesome. And that's one of the things I found was really hard for me was you know, there's a couple characters I was able to play not too badly. I managed to make it onto the main stage during the last 2 years that I did that. One was an improvised Star Trek, which of course plays to form. So that one wasn't so bad because I played like a Romulan character who was doing community service work in Starfleet for stealing stuff or something. Tremendously fun character to play. And the other one I did that was a little more difficult was they did sort of an improvised clue thing,
Okay.
which was really cool, but there was a lot of stuff to remember. And you also had to stay in the character. And boy, like I have a lot of respect for, you know, for people who are really good at acting and that kind of thing after doing that, because it's like, man, this is really hard.
It's an amazing thing, but at the same time too, you can learn a lot about yourself because you have to dig inside of yourself to create a character. Yeah, yes, you can base it off of things that you've learned or seen or heard, but that character is still going to be. So I mean, that's an amazing thing. And again, you know, intertwining that with comedy, that's a huge part of the improv. The being able to create a character, being able to get into character, get out of character. Maybe you use a character for just one joke, and then you got to get back. Maybe you use another character for another one. But that's, you know, improv is a huge part of it. And again, that's something that I'm looking forward to once everything opens up, hopefully getting into that.
Yeah.
Well, the really cool thing that I learned out of that too was the fact that the way that this is sort of a long form troupe. So they, you know, when I first went in there, I was like, oh, I'm going to be funny by, you know, trying to be funny or whatever. And I very rapidly learned that it's actually that when you make connections with people and the relationships are actually what then allows you to create the platform for the humor. So, I mean, that was something that kind of blew my mind because I was like, oh, wow, okay. There's like a whole other dimension to this that I just had no clue about.
The key to improv is just really sticking with your character, but not having boring characters, and then also not trying to be funny. Like it just kind of comes naturally. I do short form with Loose Moose, and we do a lot of games and stuff rather than long form. And the thing that I've always kind of found is anytime I try to make a joke, it's like, oh, that didn't work. But then if I kind of just play off of my friends, I'll end up either saying, like, messing up my words and saying something stupid, and then that will be funny, or my friends will just be able to kind of bounce off of each other, and then that will be funny. Yeah.
That's you hit on a big thing there, and Dad said it too. The connection is very important. The connection you're around, connection with the audience. That's something that I've been learning about comedy. You can get on stage and your comedy can be so-so. If you connect with that audience, if the audience, you know, knows something about you, they're going to walk out of there and never remember you. Or you could have amazing jokes, but you don't connect with the audience, they're not going to. It's all about the connection. That's the important thing, and that's not something that can be worked on too much. It has to be who you are, and that always give yourself, and I think you will connect. I think a lot of people sometimes try to act something or do something that's not them, and then they get lost in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. And it was kind of, I think that's probably where I started doing better with it a little bit, is exactly that, is when I started not trying to force it so much, you know. It's a bit hard to describe. And it took me, it was so funny because I'd be in these classes and people would come into the classes and then they would go up and they would get promoted up onto the main stage, and I'd be, you know, back in the class again. And this went on for like 10 years before I finally got it. It's like, oh, okay, that's how this is supposed to work. Don't try to force it so hard. Focus on the relationships, and then, like you said, you know, work on the connections, and then that's where it started to work a little better.
Yeah. I think the most important thing, and I'm sure you can attest to this too, is just be yourself. Whether it's whatever music, I'm sure if you're just yourself up there, just relaxed, you're gonna get the best music that you possibly can.
Yeah. Well, today I was in my jazz lesson, and the instructor was like, "Okay, Tori, your solos are too personalized," and I'm like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And he said, "You have to be playing the shoot a littly wah wah or something. Like we were supposed to be playing a specific pattern at least once in our solo." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to do that. I want to do my own thing."
Oh.
I know.
I guess you got to get the basics down first, and then when you get the basics, then you can layer it with.
Yeah, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
So, what else in this interesting family of yours?
Well, it was interesting you mentioned skiing, because of course I guess Corinne had just been on a ski trip. So we just do spend quite a bit of time doing that kind of stuff, and of course we live in Calgary, which is in the mountains, kind of in the same sort of zone as Colorado, and so that's been kind of a lot of the time that we spend stomping around. So for example, on Tuesday night we hiked up Prairie Mountain, which is a mountain just outside of town here. But it was just to make it more interesting. We do this with our bikes in the dark. So then you're riding down the back of the mountain in the dark with these lights that you have on these bikes that are modified with these big fat tires, so they work better in the snow. And it's just a riot. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Well, recently we went on a hike into a cave.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, and of course it's with a club, and the club has a bunch of older people, like 50s to 70s-ish kind of area. But then I was like, I want to go on a hike in a cave. So then I went, and I was the youngest person there by far. I'm only 16, so it was like, yeah. But then, so they're all kind of staying in a group, or because with all of our lights and everything, my light was barely working, and I was just going off by myself in this dark cave, just kind of hugging along the wall, just like, guys, there's graffiti over here. This is really cool with a light that barely works. I feel like that definitely captures the Gen Z mentality of just like,
Danger?
Go for it. It doesn't matter.
How bad is this gonna be?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
No. Bye.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
again, I gotta say, I expected to just, have your dad on here, to have you on here. It's a wonderful thing. My daughter is 15, so
Right.
I understand the bond, and I understand it's a very fun time right now too. My daughter her comedy is unbelievable. Her sarcasm is unbelievable.
Oh my
right
gosh,
on.
yeah.
She has been, oh my God, she's been shutting me up lately. Like I know for a while I was that annoying dad with the sometimes too much joking. She is shutting me down now, where I'm left, and I'm just like, I don't even back. So it's a fun time. I know for some families, is a difficult time, but I can see like you guys, and I know here in this house, we make it fun.
Oh yeah.
No, that's so awesome, because it's been kind of an interesting year that way, where because I understand you've got your son is immunocompromised.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would obviously create some additional challenges. But we've still been in fairly rigorous lockdowns and whatnot up until fairly recently. And there's definitely been challenging points, but certainly one of the neat things that we've done is we set up the music room in the basement, and and I've had that kind of going on, and we've been able to do a few small outings like the outside with the cave stuff and things like that. But it has actually been kind of nice in terms of just being able to hang out with Tori while we still have her around for another year before she goes to university.
I can't escape.
She cannot get away
I'm
from
not
me.
allowed to go hang out with my friends unless I'm at school. I'm stuck.
So there you go. Enforced recreation.
Yay.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time, and I give you a lot of credit, just like my daughter, a lot of credit for dealing with, no one expected anything like this. I mean, our generation dealt with a lot of weird things, seen a lot of weird things, but this is a difficult time, and absolutely amazed to see how well my daughter, you are doing. You're figuring it out. You're realizing this is for family. This is a time for coming together, and this is who you have. yeah, you want to be out, yeah, you want to be with your friends, but your family is what's first always.
Yeah.
It's been a good time for really, reinforcing that with a lot of family.
Yeah. Well, it's been really nice, like getting to hang out with my parents a lot more often and stuff.
You don't do that very often.
But my one bio teacher, she has a daughter who's I think 3 and a son who's 7, and she had to go into lockdown a few months back, and she said that she's really enforcing the COVID rules, and she says, guys, I cannot play 2 weeks worth of Elsa with my daughter. I cannot do that.
Yeah,
And she was like, I never get to be Elsa. I never get to be Elsa. I always have to be the dumb, boring sister. Like, that's no fun. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like having a teenager during all of this is probably the best, rather than a 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
yeah.
And again, it's just about finding the good. And we're watching a lot of manga, so we're watching manga with her, video game nights. She's very musically talented, but I gotta kick her butt a little more to do.
Yeah.
She's a lefty. I got her a lefty guitar years ago. Just guitar. She can pick it up and she can listen to a song and get the thing going. The piano downstairs. She will go down and she will play. She'll hear a song and recreate it. But her thing is she doesn't like to play in front of people. So but I mean, amazing just for what we get here. We get our own show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, the other thing we do in the summer, of course, is we have a Westphalia.
Hippie band.
Westie.
Woo.
So, that's also a kind of an ongoing project where we've been, I've got the 3D printer downstairs and I make little parts for it and stuff. And so fixing up all the little bits of it that don't work properly, you can't get parts for in that. And yeah, we just kind of bum around in the mountains and ride my bike off stuff. Yeah. So that kind of, yeah, there's all sorts of interesting, like I don't know if you've ever get the chance to go up to places like in the interior of BC, especially places like Nelson, and it's just amazing. Just these really small, incredible little towns that you can kind of go visit and hang out at when there's not so much COVID around. But yeah, that part's also been pretty nice about living in this particular area.
He gets to ride up mountains and I get to sit in a classroom for like 2 hours.
I think it's fair.
Wait. You get to sit. Are you online?
No, we're doing in person. Yeah.
So you're only going in for 2 hours?
Oh no. I get normal school for everyone except for band starts at 9. But since I'm in band, I have to wake up at 6:30 to get to school at 8. And then since I'm in jazz band, which is after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have to be at the school from 8 until 5.
Yeah, so she works longer than I do.
Wow. Yeah, those are that's the one thing my daughter realized, because she's all online right now, and she realized that if she was going to school, her days would be from 5 until 5 at night. But so now like I think it was like a couple of weeks ago, there was one morning she was like, "You know what, Dad, I'm kind of tired. Can I take the day off?" I said, "You're gonna lay in your bed with your laptop for an hour or 2." I said, No, you can go to school today.
Yeah, when we were doing online, like usually I'd wake up at 6:30, I'd take a shower, I'd make myself some tea and some breakfast and everything. When we were doing online, I would wake up a minute before my class, roll over, turn on my computer, and log into the class and just sit there.
That's
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Oh. Do you have an Instagram account?
I do.
Can I tag you in this too?
Yes. Yeah. It's PHREDQ.
Of course, my pen. Now, really, my pen. PH
REDQ.
Pronounced Fred.
Yep.
Fred Q.
It's Fred with a silent Q. The Q's silent.
The Q's silent.
Cool. Well, I will definitely tag you in this one. I put it up because this again, that's what I love about Corinne, because I'm doing this just to talk to different people. As we touched on briefly, I have a special needs son, and we've been in lockdown for over, ever since coming, at the beginning of last year. He doesn't have an immune system, so we've been locked down. This is my this is my Friday, my going to a concert. So again, like I said, I get really excited that I just got my own private little concert here that will be shipped. It's just an amazing thing. The energy, stories, learning something new all the time. People, you're friends now. I have made 2 new friends tonight. This is an amazing thing. And you don't know where you don't know when you'll connect again. This is what it is. This is what, the world has changed and we have to change with it. And this is my way of keeping up with it.
Well, I think it's been great. Like, it's been kind of neat tuning into this stuff and seeing the interesting people you're talking to, and that, you get a kick out of it. It's just like you said, it's such a really unique thing you're doing here. So, yeah, awesome.
Again, I thank you guys, because again, you guys make it what it is. I just sit here and I talk with my face. That's all. You guys brought the entertainment. You guys brought the inspiration. Brought the story. And again, what I love, 2 of you here is the family.
Yeah.
That is my favorite thing, just to see you guys creating music, creating laughter, creating fun, just being a family.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, and like I said, we'll be trying to do more of this kind of music-y weird stuff. So, if people are interested, they can check it out.
So, besides Instagram, Cloak of Fred Q, THRED, where else? Like what else you got? Some music, some music.
Yeah, so there's what we do is website promotion. Whoa! That's never happened before. Yeah. So that's actually got a story associated with it too. The website is called Expendable Crew Member.
Do you want to put that in and I'll pin it? You want to type it in the thing and then I'll pin it up?
You can do it there, Tori.
You'll get to look at my face.
Yeah. So while she's doing that, I can tell you a little bit of story. But so I think I've been laid off from my various jobs 5 times now. So like the second last time I got laid off, I'm like, maybe this is just the way my life is, and I'm just the guy who gets laid off a lot. So I started wearing a red shirt to work, and then I grabbed the domain name expendablecrewmember.com, and that became the band website.
We're the guys that wear the red shirts in Star Trek.
Yeah. So I figure eventually I'll get fired from the band, now that Tori's kind of taken over. So that would be perfect.
Oh, so we can see everything that's going on and up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The links are also in our bios. I've never said that before. This is so exciting.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah. Link in my bio.
Okay. Well, I'm learning social media things. Look at that.
That's like the #1 thing that you have to say.
Really?
If you say, just press the link in my bio and then you can get a subscription to my blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Code James for 20% off.
Alrighty then.
Anything else you guys want to share with us?
I don't know. We've got, I'm refurbishing my Apple II computer. That's weird. So who knew that people would actually be making new hardware for Apple II computers all this time in the future? But yeah, they are. So yeah, random weirdness.
Speaking of computers, I almost gave both of my parents a heart attack about a week ago.
Oh yeah.
I was building bonds in chemistry just with pieces of plastic, and I was like, I'm gonna make some water and like H2O molecules and put them on my computer and text my parents telling them that I spilled water on my computer. But so I made the molecules, and then I was like, Mr. Van Leenen, I spilled water on my computer. And he's like, oh my gosh. And then it came over, and there's just 2 molecules of water just sitting on my computer. And he's like, that's so funny. Do that to your parents. And then I text them. And my mom starts freaking out. And she's like, oh my gosh, put your computer upside down. Wipe it off. Make sure is it still working and everything. And then I send her a picture, and it's just 2 molecules of water. And then she says, do not do this to your dad. You will kill him.
What does she do, right?
I do it to my dad.
And I'm in this conference call with like this big mining company, and there's 20 people on the screen that I'm trying to pay attention to, which I'm bad at to start off with because ADHD. And then I get this message saying I spilled water on my computer, and I'm like, oh crap, you know. So I'm sending all this advice back about how she do this and that and rice and blah blah blah.
I sent the picture, and he didn't notice. He just looked at the screen. It's like the screen is black. It's not working. And then he was freaking out more, and I was like, Dad,
Did not clue in at all.
look at the picture.
Yeah, it was a nice burn.
Yeah.
That is definitely, I feel your pain because that's a father's nightmare because I think last year before my daughter did the online high school, she's a big gamer. So I saved up on, and I got a wonderful gaming school. And like every now and then, like she'll be like, something's not right with it. And like, I know, like my heart stops. Just like, what do you mean something's not right with it? Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. But
Yeah, so that was a bit of an exciting moment.
it was worth it. I got Kit Kats for it. Mr. Van Lee is very protective of his Kit Kats. He does not give them to anybody, but I got Kit Kats.
There you go. Huh. Right on.
That's it. And again, you get joke about everything. It was. I know, like I said, I mean, I know as a father, I know your child's computer that you immediately go into panic mode, but that was a good joke. So
Yeah, that one kind of definitely made my afternoon a bit more spicy.
I am the master of pranks. I'm awesome. You still haven't gotten me back for the Oreos, by the way.
No, I haven't. Yeah, toothpaste. Even when she was a little kid, like I'm out working on the West Valley and I'm underneath this damn thing trying to install a muffler.
I was 10.
And she was like, I don't know, 10 or something. And so this little cute kid comes out with a nice little snack and like a couple Oreos on a plate with a ginger ale or whatever. And I kind of roll out. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm all covered in like engine grease and crap. And drink a bit of the thing. And I just, I didn't want to get grease on the Oreos. So I just kind of put the whole thing in my mouth at once, And it was all full of toothpaste. So then I'm trying to eat this and I'm like, this is not good at all. What the hell is going on with this freaking Oreo? And she just starts laughing and I'm like, oh man, really?
I'm the master.
Yeah. Burn.
keep doing that. Just keep on. Don't stop doing that. Keep on doing that. That's what it's all about. Laugh. Keep the laugh. Again, I want to thank you guys for absolutely another wonderful, fun evening.
Awesome.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And again, thank you for jumping and grabbing the instrument and doing it real quick. That was absolutely awesome. Keep on doing that. We're going to keep with what's going on with you guys. When the song comes out, I want to know about it. You can promote that for you too.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks.
Again, thank you. Wonderful meeting. Two wonderful new friends tonight.
Thank
Thank you so much for having us on. And thank you for doing this. This is just a wonderful idea.
Again,
thank you, Corinne, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I said, it's easy because I know the people that she's connected to, that she's going to connect me to, are all this wonderful energy. So again, this is nothing for me. This is absolutely easy. She makes it too easy. She really does. Except for the character the whole time. That was a tough one, but otherwise, again, it's just a wonderful energy, a wonderful time, a family, and inspiration. And again, I'm going to end this the way I always do, with a peace, a love, and a laughter. And thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Easy.
Do we have to push a button or something?
I don't know. What buttons do we press?
There's yeah.
Is there like a buy button?
I think we press this button.
That button there?
This button.
That button there.
This button.
Oh, there we go.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Again, another wonderful, fun, easy. Karine, you make this easy. I don't want you to make it difficult, but again, it's just connecting with wonderful people, with a wonderful energy, and just sharing it. Just sharing stories, just talking. How are you getting through this time? How are you helping others get through this time? And again, it's all. I know it's backwards there, but it's just love. It's just love and laughter and just keeping the good energies going. And again, I thank you for tuning in. I'll probably see you again next Tuesday night. We'll probably do something again. Don't know what, don't know with who, don't know where, don't know why, but we'll do it again next Tuesday night. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again for supporting. Thank you again for laughing. Thank you again for enjoying. And have a good night. We'll see you next week.